first appearance in game, or will she be banned once again as we get into the draft? It is Nova and Slimy Salamanders. Kestrel going to be that first ban. Of course, not banning Malene on A side. You don't want to do that because you've our sure opponents. No Malene ban! We got a Malene pick!
We got a Malene! That's got to be in the hands of either Truth Light or starting all over.
That's even scarier.
Yeah.
Like, I am Slimy Salamanders. What are you doing? What are you doing at this point? You're giving. We saw starting all over tweeting about how he feels he's the best Malene out there, and they're gonna let him showcase it.
Yeah, that is absolutely shocking. I mean, it is the preseason. The stakes aren't too high. Hopefully, Slimy Salamanders wanting to have a little bit of fun with this, but I don't know how fun it's gonna be if Truth Light or starting has Malene in his hands and just going absolutely ham.
Yeah, it might be fun. Maybe it's like a kind of a hazing technique for whoever's going up against him. Say, go have fun leaning against Malene with starting all over playing that hero, and the rest of the team can have some fun at the expense of one of their teammates. But I cannot wait to get to see. I don't even care about the rest of the draft. Like, let's just go into game right now with Malene pick. That's all I care about.
Exactly. We're definitely gonna have a lot of fun watching the game. I'm sure once Denominate and Humanist have their hands on her getting the cast set, that's gonna be a lot of fun for them. But Slimy Salamanders, they did go for that Lyra, Idris, and now Celeste combination. Those are three heroes that work very well together. They're gonna be able to kite back when Lyra puts up her Bright Bulwark. That can shut down some of Malene's abilities. So something that she is gonna have to watch out for.
Yeah, you need to have a lot of different crowd control options because she can just use that to go into shadow form and become essentially invincible for that period of time, untargetable. It's just a very, very strong ability for getting you out of a sticky situation. But if you have multiple forms of crowd control and you layer them properly, it doesn't matter. You bait out that ability, and then as soon as she reappears, you drop some more crowd control on her. She is very squishy. If you can actually get onto her, you can take her down in a hurry. That's why Nova, I'm expecting to have a little bit more protection for this Malene as well. Obviously, the Arden does that very well. I would expect something else to be more of those bruiser-type picks for their final selection.
Whoever is on the Celeste this game is going to have to watch out for this Black Feather Arden combination. They dive so effectively. I love the Grace pickup right there, especially if they play the utility Grace that we saw a lot of last week. I mean, Weapon Power Grace, certainly if Malene's out of position, if Samuel's out of position, a Weapon Power Grace can just go straight into those back lines and deal a ton of damage. But even in the front lines, the Arden, the Black Feather, something that these squishier heroes are going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely. And so with these final two bans now, teams can kind of see what your opponents are planning, maybe think about what they expect or what you expect them to try and round out their composition with and take that away. So Gwen is taken off the board because there is no real ranged carry of weapon power carry option for Slimy Salamanders yet. Obviously, they could go for the Vox, they could go for the Ringo. There are still picks available, but with the Gwen ban, I would almost expect Nova to maybe try and get a Vox themselves.
Gonna take the Vox away from them right there, though. Seriously, that was a great ban. Great foresight out of sight of Tasty Bacon. Nova has a few different options for what they want to go for. Probably looking for a jungler at this point, assuming it's not the Samuel in the jungle. Definitely going to be interesting to kind of see how Slimy decides to wrap this up. They've been very decisive in their drafts thus far. Gonna pick up the Glaive. We saw TSM ban Glaive last game. Glaive definitely a hero that might be seeing a little bit of a comeback in this 3.2 update, but we're going to have to see, is it effective? Can Nova make it work here today?
It's also just one of those heroes that can peel for your hyper carry, which is exactly what we felt like Nova kind of would look for with a Malene pick. And so now Slimy Salamanders, again, I feel like they're going to want something that's that ranged weapon, maybe a Ringo. They're actually going to go with a Kashka instead. That was the other thing that I was thinking. They didn't really have a hero for status to play in the jungle because he has been dominant thus far this preseason to the extent that he is going to be my player to watch for this game. He has been so strong with the pressure that he has put onto lanes, and just his total kill participation has been through the roof on all the heroes he's been playing, and this Kashka is kind of one of his signature heroes that he used to run all the time in 3v3. Now going to bring it out to 5v5, where we've seen him just be able to run rampant in the jungle.
Absolutely. The early game, so important. Update 3.2. He can have a huge impact here in this game. On the flip side of the table, with the side of Nova, Eco definitely has been playing well throughout this preseason. He needs to make sure that he is still supporting and captaining this team exactly how they need it, facilitating a lot of these different team fights, helping keep his carries alive. Going to be so important in this game here today.
Yeah, and especially, again, when you have that Malene on your team, you need to be providing that protection for her so that, you have here players like Starting All Over, like Truth, enable them to be able to carry the team. That's what this team is built around. You look at the roster, they are all about those hard carries, and your captain is so important at keeping those carries alive so that they can do their job. He's
been playing a lot of these aggressive go in, start team fight base hero. He's going to have Arden here today, so he needs to make sure that Malene is staying alive. Whichever hero Koshka is going on to, especially in this early game, he is going to have to make sure that they are getting the Vanguard to keep them in the fight.
Yeah, those early rotations are going to be so crucial, especially, that's why I actually really like that Koshka pick, because you have that early game pressure. You can get status into this mid lane and try and shut down the Malene before she really gets going, because if you don't put a lot of focus onto that hero, she is going to get out of hand and out of control very quickly.
Not only does she start off strong, she scales throughout the entire game, especially as her cooldowns get shorter, as she gets these items underneath her belt. I'll be really interested to see what sort of builds they end up going for. We've seen, I've seen a lot of aftershocks on Malene, actually, simply because she is switching between so many abilities so quickly that she can constantly proc the aftershock. There's also been great builds with alternating current because she is so reliant upon her basic attacks to deal a vast majority of her damage as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what kind of build you expect to see coming into this one, but there's not only you have the aftershock and you have the alternating current as options, but then there's also just the building flat crystal or flat cooldown. When Malene first came out, I put out a tweet asking, all right, what are you guys building on Malene? How are you building her? I got a couple of responses from some of the pro players saying, build full cooldown, just as much cooldown as you can. Get an aftershock, get a clockwork, and just spam abilities as tap everything as quickly as humanly possible, and you'll eventually get the damage out there regardless. So there's a lot of different ways that Malene can be built, a lot of different ways you can play her. Do you run around primarily in shadow form for the escape ability? Do you run around in the light form because you have the root available to you? There's a lot of different options. We'll finally get to see how the pro players are going to start playing it as we get into game. Humanist and Denomine take us through our first Malene game.
Well, Tasty Bacon, it would be our pleasure, at least it's definitely going to be my pleasure to nominate. I mean, how you feeling about this Malene in here?
I'm definitely excited to cast this one. I think Flash and Bacon hit the nail right on the head there, that Malene is so incredibly fun both to play and to just watch somebody who has such a high skill cap like Starting All Over bring the plays for us to witness here. Obviously, they were mentioning the Aftershock. I think the Aftershock is actually incredibly potent on Malene. Just like they said, able to spam through those abilities, spam out that Aftershock proc quite frequently. But not only that, Malene gets an empowered crystal attack every time she switches between her light and dark forms. And the shadow form has an empowered attack already on it that stacks with the damage of Aftershock and can be incredibly punishing.
Can be incredibly punishing. Right now, the punishing coming from the Salamanders, trying to get in there, steal that crystal tree. They're just holding it there. Okay, they'll finally be taken as Nova and the slimy Salamanders playing some games early on here. And I'm really curious to see how people are going to play against the Malene, almost as much as I am to see how Malene is going to be played herself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a little bit rough for some of these teams to try to go against the Malene. Whoa, good pick from Starting there.
Picked him like a booger. Now looking to put a little sugar on top of that. Mixi getting chased down. Mixi has a healing flask. He's maybe gonna be okay. No, Eco's here. Eco's gonna slingshot Erica on home. Mixi should be dying here any second. Mixi though, pretty much a legend at this point. Oh, he lets him go.
So close there, Humanist, but they are going to make it out alive. Everybody except for Status, who did fall here on this Kashka. We were talking about that empowered basic attack when switching between forms, and starting was able to make the rotation over with Erica Kane and get that empowered attack. But man, Status enters into the lane the wrong time, and Eco and Erica Kane, they're going to pick up kill number 2 there. We're not even 3 minutes in the game here yet, and the Salamanders have already given 2 over to the side of Nova.
2 early throws here, but I'm sure it'll be going back the other way. I think Status kind of misread that situation. The bummer for him, especially, on top of just going in and dying there, is that it was a situation where he could have got more done, but also using his healing flask right before he died means that's going to be on cooldown for a while.
Yeah, absolutely, and also delays him clearing through his jungle a little bit. And while it didn't get stolen away, even having that, additional 20 seconds between your rotations could be the matter of one of your laners surviving or dying or picking up that extra kill or letting it escape. So that is something we're going to have to watch the Casca if she can still continue to make effective rotations. Mixi obviously going to be in the lane here on this Idris.
Erica taking a lot of damage up in top. We'll get the Vanguard from Eco. Status almost finding a kill for himself there, as we see rotations up towards top from Wrecked. Again, Status, he's got that weapon buff, maybe thinking about wrapping around the back, but he'll go ahead and pull off of that. You can see that they want to get some aggression on the map, but just not really finding anything.
Yeah, and what is a little bit interesting here is we have seen starting in Truth switch lanes here. Typically we see Truth in the mid lane. Status is finding some damage onto Eco, though. I'm unsure if he's going to be able to get the kill because the Vanguard's coming up. But Salamanders might be looking to steal away another Crystal Treant here and deny away some CS.
Well, theirs is being taken at the same time. Delphi able to grab that. Now Eco taking a lot of damage, stunned up and taking down the Salamanders, able to get on the board. And nice timing here is the healing Treant just spawning right there. I don't think, unless Erica gets a cheeky little take, this should be going the way of the Salamanders. And that's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, especially on the Casca, using your speed to your advantage and your damage to your advantage early on is definitely something that you need to be doing. Otherwise, it's going to cause you to lose out. Here we go, under turret.
Here we go. There we go. Status. What's the play here, bud? Let's see if he's going to use that move speed and then be able to avoid this damage and get himself out of here. Erica, the faint of heart, thinking about chasing, but Mixi hammering on the turret. And this is going to be the Salamanders just being slimy.
Yeah, like I said, that movement speed coming out of Kashka can be used to her advantage, and diving between 2 turrets and 2 enemies, Status was able to make it out alive this time, so not giving another kill over. However, that weapon buff has worn off, so the gank aggression is going to be a little bit lower from this Kashka for the next minute or so before she gets her next rotation through on a buff. Delphi has picked himself up a Spellfire first item, and dating back historically in competitive, Samuel is one of Delphi's best heroes. So I'm excited to see him pick that one up. Obviously, we mentioned starting all over. Very, very high mechanical skilled player going to be on this Maline, and we're going to have to see what he can bring to the table, as well as now Status making his rotation through his jungle, probably on his way to that top lane to try to help get a push with Mixi.
Pretty significant damage coming out here in mid onto Iraqi, as well as that turret is wrecked. Tries to body block a little, also trying to just get that healing down, keep that lane in good fighting shape. Right now, it's actually Eco picking up the fountain, so Nova in a good position to take a fight if they do choose to go for it. Only level 4 on the Ardent, so there's no gauntlet out or anything like that, but you do have Oblivion for Delphi, starting all over, now level 6, getting that progression forward, and Truth starting to make a rotation, but a nice scout cam will reveal that rotation over from the glaive. I don't think anybody should be caught by this.
Good use of minion candy there in the mid lane by the side of Nova, especially against Iraqi Zoro, who's still level 6 on Celeste. He hasn't reached that huge power spike that we know Celeste to have, so we'll be struggling a little bit. But Erica Kane might have found a chance to get some damage.
Found a chance, misses the on point, Rose defensive's back, reset, the team collapses on down, and Iraqi Thruro fully engaged.
Yeah, not only did Nova get the pick there, they were able to secure both the gold and experience, as well as the buff coming out of that Crystal Treant, winning over to starting all over. And now they're going to start pushing down this center turret and get some damage. Ghostwing is on the map, so I would expect, or at least hope, that one of these teams, when they do get a key pick like that, for example, onto the Celeste, that they take advantage of that time and try to pick up that objective. Because yes, you may have reined in a lot of damage on that central turret, but getting that Ghostwing buff could have given your team the opportunity to push more than one objective.
Truth in a 2v1 situation, literally taking status and Xenotech toe for toe, or toe to toe. Xenotech chasing back, or getting back under the turret. Truth taking a lot of damage. He'll peel off of that one. Up in top, in the meantime, Erica able to find a kill onto Mixi. A lot of action happening across this map right now.
Yeah, we've got a one turret for one turret trade. Mixi did go in for that turret, gave his life for it though, and because the wave was pushed so heavily into Nova's turret, even though he died, he does not have a massive risk of losing his own turret here in the top lane, as he, actually Erica Kane now pushing up. Mixi's gone into bot lane here, and unsure what that rotation is about. Maybe they were thinking...
There was a lot of aggression kind of piling up down there. You had Truth, Eco, and Delphi all trying to get onto the turret there. They just switched the aggression over to Xenotech and nothing really came of it, but I guess that's maybe why he's moving down.
Yeah, looked like it had been broken off for a little while there, but all the same, it was a rotation back to base by Erica Kane, so Mixi is not going to lose that top turret. Aegis first item complete here for the Blackfeather, trying to go very tanky into this Idris, who has those ranged crystal basic attacks. So a little bit different of a build path coming out of Erica here. We'll have to see if it ends up paying out for Nova in the long run.
Well, it's actually pretty interesting. I mean, there's a lot of crystal damage coming out from the Salamanders, and if he can tank up, being a nuisance, force... I mean, the thing is, like, if he jumps onto Iraqi and Iraqi respects that, he's going to be out of position. Right now, though, this is a potential Ghostwing take happening down here. Salamanders, they want to contest. Ghostwing dropping down low. It's going to be going over to Nova, and Nova are going to be able to get kills, starting all over, starting with the Maline able to get a kill there. Now looking for more. The Salamanders dropping low. That's going to be 2 kills for Nova, looking for more wrecked. Arcane Passage back. Iraqi not in range to be attacked right here, but it's Xenotech who finds himself in a vulnerable position. And that's actually going to be the kill going over to Eco. So Nova, a huge turn of events here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They were able to capture that Ghostwing. They were able to turn that fight into a 3-for-1 trade. So Nova winning out at all points of that fight. They don't have quite the lead that TSM did in our first game here in NA right now, though. We're approaching the 10-minute mark. We only have about a 3,000 to 4,000 gold lead for the side of Nova. So the Salamanders definitely are not out of this one, especially with Mixi and Celeste. Iraqi Zoro are just now getting to really come online. Meanwhile, Delphi capitalizing on the Ghostwing buff. They do take down that bottom turret and get a little bit more gold in the lead.
What's the use for the Grays here for the Salamanders? It feels like it's kind of flat thus far in the game. Is that just a timing thing? Hasn't hit the power spikes? Or I mean, is this a game where it's kind of hard to have an impact?
Well, ideally, Weapon Power Grace has a huge impact if you can get an advantage early. It's very similar to a Weapon Sky in my thought, at least, and they just haven't had an early game impact. In fact, they're down a little bit, so Grace hasn't really got the chance to really abuse some of the damage that she can put out. The nice thing is that she can hit multiple targets in a team fight with the second proc on her basic attack. So there's definitely some potential to build up some breaking point with the Serpent's Mask breaking point build. We also sometimes see Tension Bow double monocle come out of the Weapon Grace. And, you know, again, the Weapon Grace doesn't have a huge taking off point. If you're not capitalizing early. She will get tanking, she will be able to build up breaking point stacks in the later stage of the game, but isn't going to have that massive game-changing impact.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it right now, and definitely on the back foot. There's a huge level disparity, small net worth disparity, but I mean, you look at the levels for Nova, there's an advantage in almost every lane and almost every single position here right now, and starting all over, definitely feeling himself. 80 last hits, 11.5 minutes in, 2-0-2 on this Maline. Pretty good showing for this hero.
Yeah, she's definitely a pretty high skill cap hero. I like the build that he's gone with the advantage that they have. We were talking about the alternating current and the aftershock earlier. He is not gone with either of those. He's gone for raw damage and also trying to shut down the healing that is going to come out of Rekt and Xenotech. We have 2 healers on the side of the Salamanders, so going to be trying to shut that down. Meanwhile, starting does drop to status in the team up top.
Yeah, that was a really nice engage. It was the arcane passage in, and they just focused the Maline down. Now Erica taking a lot of damage will get the Vanguard. Status on the front side for his team. He's going to go ahead and jump in. A little bit of burst damage coming out. Gets his Twilly Death bonus damage coming on through. Araki tries to stay in position to land these Helios. Doesn't want to put himself in a vulnerable situation. You can see they're really respecting what Nova can do to turn that around. They'll be able to get another kill, get the Crystal Treant as well. So the Salamanders, a very big win. And I'm almost like, what was the rest of Nova doing in the meantime?
Yeah, definitely a rough split for the side of Nova, and now the Salamanders, they have a chance to push some damage on turret here, but they gotta be careful. Here comes Nova.
Yeah, Truth just lumbering his way on into that fight. Status incredibly low. He'll get a divine intervention, but Mixi roasted and toasted starting. He's found Rekt, almost able to take Rekt down, locking him into place. He'll drop into that pool, repositioning, avoiding some damage and lockdown as well. Maline, what a hero. He'll turn around, finds the root, slaps Xenotech in the face. He'll get another kill. Salamanders forced into the top river. And they'll just go ahead and back on out. Full teleports back to base. They're going to heal up, do a little shopping. But this could be the T2 turret being taken down in mid here.
Yeah, it definitely looks to be the case. Starting return to lane with a huge damage spike again. When Maline is in the light form and switches to Shadow, she gets that huge damage spike on her next basic attack. At level 3 where he's at, it's 180 base plus 100% crystal ratio. So that is a huge spike since he's gone with the Shatterglass and the Spellfire first item. And again, able to shut down some of the healing that comes out of Rekt and Xenotech. He provides that additional utility for the team. Same with Delphi, same with Truth. Lots of mortal wounds going into this double heal comp.
A lot of mortal wounds, a lot of healing to negate here, and a lot of decisions to be made. Nom-noms. So we got the Salamanders kind of hovering around Ghostwing. Nova know exactly what's going on, and it looks like they're almost trying to bait them away from that, really not wanting to take it just yet, as Erica has just been hanging on the top side of this map. Look at that damage coming on through. With the mortal wounds, the damage stacking up, Salamanders, they're going to go ahead and reposition back, allowing Nova an opportunity to clear all of this vision out.
Yeah, absolutely. Ghostwing is started up, but here comes the Salamanders. Can they make a play?
Let's see who's going to be the target. Truth with a nice peel. Let's see if they can turn this around. Xenotech with the Holy Nova, starting all over, taking huge damage. Status, perfect focus there. Xenotech will go down. It's been traded 1 for 1 at this point. Now Erica lands the on point, jumps on forward. Can they find the kill? Yeah, Status is down. Looking for Mixi. They'll get him 485 damage on that crit. Malice of Verdict won't connect. The healing from Rekt boosting Araki forward. The movement speed could be just what a Celeste wanted there. Now the Drifting Dark, a nice Helio into the stun. Arcane Passage back from Rekt allowed the Salamanders to reposition. I mean, honestly, they almost turned that around to find a kill there.
Yeah, it was very, very close, and unfortunately for starting all over there in that fight, he did switch to light form and used the Royal Amnesty to get that movement speed and try to get into the fight and help his team. However, Iraqi Zoro and Status, they turned their attention around immediately and were able to hammer him with damage before he was able to switch back to Shadow and use that Wicked Escapade to try to avoid some of that damage, as well as pass out some damage as well. It's a pretty big AoE spike, especially for a Kashka who's diving into that backline. Wherever the Wicked Escapade was used, takes a huge spike of crystal damage, 285 plus 60% crystal ratio.
Status jumping into 4. He's gonna regret that one as he just gets popped. It's gonna be Iraqi Zoro going down second, as some questionable decisions have been made by the Salamanders.
Yeah, definitely was a rough one there, and now with Status and Iraqi Zoro down, this should be an easy Ghostwing take for the side of Nova. They obviously have 4 of their members here taking that one, but here comes Rekt and Xenotech. Can they make the steal? A little early there for Rekt.
No, but they're definitely in position to throw. I would know. Uh-oh, Rekt's been rooted down. Starting's got the damage. They're going to go ahead and knock Xenotech back as well. Well... tip your waiter. They just got served up a couple kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Mixi and Rekt went in a little bit too early. The Arcane Passage came through. Rekt was looking for the steal onto Ghostwing because realistically, if you lose out on your captain and you get that Ghostwing steal, you've won that trade all day. Your team now has that 25% buff and they can really run away with
Erica
that.
might find status as well, not to cut you off there. Erica chasing status through mid, so the rest of the team is pushing. Erica getting a solo kill, allowing Nova to continue to push here. Oblivion gonna look to disrupt this fight just a little bit, hold him in place. They'll be able to take it down. Delphi getting that kill. They're onto the armory here. Now this is a 3 versus 5 situation for the Salamanders. Mixi trying to get that chakram damage. We'll have to Shimmer Strike back onto the healing platform there as the damage continues to rain on through. Iraqi, he'll heal back up, wants to turn it back the other way, but they've lost their armory. And if they chase too far forward, honestly, this could be the go call right back the other way. Nova gonna respect it back on out, but really clean execution.
Yeah, I think Nova made the right call there. They don't want to give any gold over to the side of the Salamanders there. They were able to pick up a kills. They were able to pick up the armory as well, which is now going to force that bottom wave up. That is something that the side of the Salamanders now constantly have to deal with, or have someone out of position clearing wave while the rest of the team gets ambushed. So great play from Nova there. That sets them up a lot of control for this game moving forward, especially if they can take this Crystal Treant, and they're going to get that one easy.
You can really tell from Araki's positioning that he feels the pressure. He feels that he needs to accomplish a lot for his team, apply a lot of damage, and that's why he's kind of a little bit more forward in these fights, because they really can't afford to not have that Celeste damage coming on through.
No, they definitely can't. And Iraqi Zoro's actually at a very strong point of his build. And if there's any situation where the Salamanders can start to turn this around, it's going to be started with Iraqi Zoro setting up a field of these Heliogenesis and baiting someone in, getting someone who's going to get caught into that huge damage spike and potentially burn out a fountain from Eco early. As we've got the Black Claw now started up, and Salamanders, they're all here ready to go.
Yeah, potentially a defining moment of this game here. Iraqi starting to get a wall of Helios down. The Salamanders getting forced on in here. Oblivion's going to come through defensively. The Gauntlet down as well. Eco taking a lot of damage, but doesn't care as long as his team can apply the damage. Mixi avoiding that with the Shimmer Strike, able to reposition and get out, but status has gone down. They'll lose Iraqi as well. A defensive Arcane Passage from Rekt is all he can do is run and live up to his name as Nova puts him down into the dirt. A full ace for Nova. They don't even need the Black Claw. They'll push on in. This is going to be a sub 20-minute victory for Nova up against the Salamanders. Just a really beautiful performance overall from this squad.
Yeah, that was excellent execution from Nova. They had the aggro of Black Claw. They got a beautiful route coming out of the light ribbons from starting all over that locked up Rekt, and then Nova fully committed onto the Salamanders. They were able to clean that one up, pushing through that bottom wave that's already been cleared from the last team fight, and they take home this game.